Y'all, I got a new car.
We are diving into the new Chevy Blazer EV. Going to show you guys a couple of things before we dive into the settings. This is the charger that it comes with. It's super compact. We have the cargo liner as well as floor liners in the car. Super practical. Opening and closing the charging port is smooth and
That
simple.
new car smell though.
A quick look at the interior before we get started with the settings. Here are the floor liners, and let's go ahead and get started. First up, let's talk about charging. We've set the max charge to 80%, which is the recommended level for daily driving. Charging to 80% helps preserve the battery health over time. Of course, if you're planning a road trip, you can always change it to 100, but for regular use, 80% is the sweet spot. Next, I want to briefly mention the 360-degree camera system. It's super helpful for parking in tight spaces, giving you a full view around the car. Now, let's dive into settings. Under the vehicle menu, you have some audio settings. I didn't really play around with those too much. I ended up going ahead into the drive mode customization section after. For drive modes, we kept it on normal, but there's also a snow mode, among others, for different driving conditions. You can also customize the motor sound. We've kept that on normal as well, but there's a sport option, or you can turn it off entirely. Next up is climate settings. Left the air quality at medium. Initially, I had the heated seats turned off on start, but after experiencing the winter chill, I've gone ahead and switched it to turn on automatically at startup, which is definitely a cozy upgrade. You'll also find auto defogging and other climate controls here. Safety features were a big priority for us, and the Blazer EV comes packed with some really impressive ones. First up was the automatic emergency braking, which can detect potential collisions ahead and either reduce the impact or prevent the accident entirely by applying the brakes for you. There's also pedestrian braking, which works similarly but is designed to detect people crossing in front of the car and stop automatically if needed. There's also intersection collision braking, which adds an extra layer of safety when you're crossing busy intersections, helping to avoid accidents in tricky situations. You can hit pause and read a little bit more on that right over here. Okay, so we've kept adaptive cruise control on. The bicyclist alert is a thoughtful touch as well, where it warns you if a cyclist is approaching or in your path. Similarly, lane change alert keeps an eye out for vehicles in your blind spot and warns you before you make a lane change. Parking is made easier with park assist and braking. The car can sense tight spaces and automatically apply the brakes if something is too close while parking, which is a lifesaver in crowded parking lots. And finally, there's rear cross traffic braking, which helps detect and stop for cars or objects crossing behind you when you're backing out of a spot. Again, you can pause to read, but these features really add to the peace of mind when driving this car. It feels like an extra set of eyes helping you stay safe on the road. Next up is comfort and convenience. I made some tweaks, one of them being the chime volume, bringing it all the way down because the kids often nap in the car and I don't want that to wake them up. Really, you just need to play around with the settings because there's so many things you can change in the car, which I absolutely love. But anyway, the power rear gate is set to open fully, and I love how it opens automatically when I stand behind it. What else? The mirrors, they fold in when I lock the car, which is a nice touch for protecting them in tight spaces. Other settings you can customize include lighting. I currently have it set to stay on for 30 seconds after I park and turn off the car, but you can change that to 60 seconds or even 90 seconds if you'd like. For power door locks, you can choose to unlock all doors or just the driver's door when you park. For the remote door unlock, you can set it to open either the driver's door only or all of the doors. I've also enabled the passive door lock, so if I leave the car and forget to lock it, it can lock automatically for me. So as you continue to look through the settings over here, I'm going to quickly mention that my next video coming up soon will be how I set up the car from the inside, whether it's accessorizing it or just some items that are necessary to have in the car, especially as a mom of two. So definitely hit that subscribe button so you can be kept in the loop when I go ahead and share that video next. along with maybe just some of my general feedback on how I'm feeling about the car now that I've had it for about 2 months. Actually, yes, I know this video is being posted super late, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. Lastly, we're going to be heading into the climate menu. I've kept it all set to auto. It's great to have all the controls centralized, but really you just have to play around with the car to find out what works best for you. And that is it for today. Thanks for checking out the settings we've customized in our Chevy Blazer EV. See you guys in the next video.